Well, hello and welcome back to the garden. I was so excited about today's day because we were supposed to spend our day here in the cottage garden and planting up some of them, if not all of the plants that I've been accumulating, and just having these lovely, charming, like quintessential cottage garden flowers here would transform this area, because it's been so long overdue. So this is what I was planning for today, to be planting it up with you. But our neighbour had an arborist over and they were dismantling a big tree. So the chainsaws were going consistently throughout the day. And as I was bringing out all those plants to here, so I could lay them out at least around the bed, so just to see where they might just fit in with their sizes and shapes, I realised I had nowhere enough plants, which I sort of knew that I was going to have to go and buy, but I really did not have enough plants. And obviously, knowing the background noise was so loud, I could not actually speak to you, and I got really overwhelmed. It probably was just a combination of everything, plus having to, because these are perennials, so having to even locate them, or thinking, okay, what did it look like now, because there's no flowers on it, it's only leaves, and how big was it going to grow, trying to remember all that. And I'm no expert in that. I'm not a garden designer. I've said that before as well. So I just do what feels right to me, and I try to find the right location for the plants. But as such, how to combine them, I just go with my own gut instinct. So I thought the best I could do is just literally leave here and go to garden centre, which isn't that close. There's quite a drive there, but at least I'll go and see if I can pick up something else, something newer. And obviously, being weather as it was just jam-packed with people, so I couldn't really properly film it either for you, and what I was picking and why I was picking. And because it was so busy and people were buying a lot of plants, the selection wasn't all as good as it was even in March when I last was there. So I still didn't obviously come home empty-handed. That would be just silly. Now obviously I have not physically planted them into the ground yet, and I won't do it today unfortunately either, because there are actually just a couple of more plants that I want to relocate within the garden itself. So I actually could bring a lupin in here, there's a peony there. Not the best time to move those plants at the moment, but look, needs must. And there's a couple of more astilbes I think I might move as well. And then I also still need to physically go and buy more plants, and especially more the semi-shade or shade-loving plants. They didn't actually have that much of a selection in there for those. But I thought at least I'll show you the type of plants I bought. What did I get? Maybe there's something familiar, and because actually, disclaimer, there are so many of those plants there that I've never grown before, but they look exciting and they look gorgeous. And obviously some of the plants I really do want to have in the garden itself. So, and some might be new to you, and some you might already be growing. So it's that side of it is always so exciting, and at least it won't be a fully messed up and lost out on opportunity day to do a bit of gardening still. Now I had been collecting various of plants over the months, and I've been talking about them plenty before as well, and these would go just to harmonise with the planting that was already here, and these fresh David Austin Gabriel oak roses. So if I start with the biggest of the purchases, so this one is a big shrub. So this is going to grow like 6 to 8 foot in the height. So let's say 8 foot is about 2.4 meters. And this is Vigella, and it's blossoming in the month of May. It has absolutely beautiful green leaves, and it has this kind of a stunning pink edging to it. And obviously it's absolutely covered with flowers. and it was immediately approved by a large bumblebee. Will we plant your ball as well? Will we plant your ball? Yeah? We'll grow an orange tree. Obviously, I'm going to be locating it somewhere around the back, and this is what I'm thinking the area could be. So there's still a good bit of distance away from the greenery, and I could do more planting in front. At the moment, I put a small pot with an Annabelle hydrangea in front of it. That's a cutting I took from one of the plants here in the front yard. So that's not new plant, but I haven't really been talking about it. It's just one of my own cuttings. But yeah, so this is the big Vigella. And I might be actually pronouncing that word wrong, but I've never grown this before, but it's absolutely stunning. Also, the moment I had it in my shopping basket, everybody passing it was complimenting it. They all want to know what it was. I'm not sure why they passed it as they were laid out in the garden centre, but maybe, you know, you get overwhelmed looking at so many plants as well. But yeah, this had definitely a wow factor. Everybody, as I said, complimented, loved it, and wanted to know what it was. So that is Vigella rosea. Another shrub that I bought is a spindle tree, or Eunomus. It's a red chief variety that I placed here, obviously still in its pot, just next to the Deutzia, behind the stilbes and the crocosmia, next to this big hydrangea as well, and next to the buddleia, or the butterfly bush. So this is going to have fantastic autumn colour. And I'm thinking it will complement nicely with this cotinus that I had at the back here. Grace, I think, is the name variety. And I was coppicing it. I was cutting down the big branches. I'm hoping for the new growth to come through. But the cotinus's leaf is really deep, sort of purpley tones, so really dark one. So I'm thinking it's going to give a good background to the vibrant grief summer color. Then this is going to get even more vibrant for winter, and this is also going to be really deep reds and real firecracker in the at the end of the sort of border here. And obviously then it is going to have these flowers and berries, and it's going to be gorgeous. And I want to thank Ali and Dawn for their kind donations. There's a couple of plants with your names on them there. Thank you so much. Very, very kind of you. And anybody else that wants to do something similar, there's a link below. Then next, as shrubs, I bought these two dwarfing lilacs, and the variety is called Palabin, and they are absolutely stunning. And the fragrance, obviously, with lilacs is just gorgeous. And you can't have a cottage garden without a lilac. It's an absolute must. But yeah, it's a low one. I think the maximum height this would be is about 1.2. So I was thinking I'll use it at the back of the curve here. And then you're facing sort of the rose garden that way. And because I'm hoping that maybe if we'd get a bench or something in here, so it would be sort of behind you, it would waft a little bit over your. Then as a bigger shrubby flowers is another peony, and this one is called the Pink Hawaiian Coral. So this is going to be coral coloured one, and I got straight away support for it as well. I was also able to pick up a couple of delphiniums. So these ones obviously are purplish, sort of like a double petaled variety look. And then I also got another variety which have these kind of a purpley flowers, and that's called Astolot. Continuing with these purple tones, I suppose, I picked up this Stilby. It was just stunning. You see the depth of colour. It's nearly even a more extreme version of the Cotinus Grace, and the stems are very like the Cotinus colours. But that's an Astilbe, so, and that's Astilbe chinensis Spotlight. But I hadn't seen this colour before, and it's just stunning. I just love the colour of the foliage. Even if the flowers aren't going to be that pretty in pink, but just the foliage is stunning. So I got a couple of those as well. Then a couple of pots of stackies. They have a stunning delicate flower, and obviously again the leaf design is a bit different. And this variety is Summer Crush. And I nearly forgot this little beauty as well. It's another geranium, Cambridge is this variety. And they only had one of it, but it was pink, so obviously I had to buy it. And then finally some knapweed. Now, I've never grown it, but it's so soft and sort of leathery feeling foliage, and should have pink flowers as well. No way I can pronounce what the name is, so I'll just put that on the screen for you. And that's the beauty of an English cottage garden, because it's all about abundance and informality. So you can't really go wrong in a way of mixing up plants and colours. I do like a bit of harmony, so I usually do stick with sort of mauvey and pink tones. But otherwise, once you get the, I suppose, location right, that it's full sun or semi-shade, which I do have a bit of a mix here. And then also a couple of weeks ago I've been bringing in fresh compost here to all these areas where the new plants are going to go, just to prep it, because the cottage garden plants do love really rich and well draining soil, and our own really heavy clay, plus it's just totally riddled with stone. It's just not going to be good enough, so we did have to bring in a bulk load of soil. This will help us to retain moisture and just provide nutrients to the plants. And then obviously adding with the bark mulch as well, after keeping, will keep down the weeding. And at the moment, as I said, I have it sort of around the outer areas, and then the fresh soil in the middle. So things don't always go the way we plan them to go. That is just life. I just still keep working away on the background, and if you haven't seen the last video by me of other, let's say, kitchen garden jobs even that I am planning for myself, I'm doing already in month of May, have a look at that. But thank you still so much for joining me today, and until next time.